Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to this week's Frequency Intel. And the Frequency Intel is where I tap into the frequencies, the bandwidths of information in the collective consciousness, and I tap into what is actually alive and vibrating in the collective consciousness for us to work with in this time space. And I read the frequencies every week. And so I want to just remind everyone that whenever you are finding this frequency intel, it has relevant information, frequencies, bandwidths of information for you and your journey. So whether you're here with me live, and thank you to all of you who are joining me live, or whether you're finding this on YouTube or another platform, wherever I've distributed these frequency intel, and you can find them at Kim Pence Light across all platforms. The information in this frequency intel is relevant to you. So I'm going to get started and share with you what has been downloaded for all of us to have the ability to work with the frequencies that are alive and active for us in our greatest expansion this week. So the frequency that is most prevalent is the frequency of expansion. This bandwidth of information is expanding us beyond the known. And this has a lot of implications for us as human beings. So I want to share how this is landing and what we can do in order to be at our most aligned selves in these great expansive energies, because the energy of expansion requires intense pressure. So when anything is going to expand, there's a pressure that builds, and that pressure can be uncomfortable. And the pressures that are building now are beautiful energies that are open and that are generative and that are unbounded. So what do I mean by that? We are in a portal that will begin on the 12th of this month, 12/12. And this portal is when the Earth aligns with the Galactic Center. So the Galactic Center is a point in time-space that is basically what we can call the Great Void or the zero-point field. It is the potential of all possibility, of all possible realities exist in the Galactic Center. And the Earth is aligning with the Galactic Center, opening these expansive energies for us to connect into and move into the next iteration, the next version of our true identities. So there's also a very potent new moon happening on the 12th. And this new moon is in Sagittarius. And what we're being offered with this alignment to Sagittarius, to the great centaur, is a new vision, a new way of seeing ourselves in the world. This is aligned with our third eye. So when we utilize our ability to see with our physical eyes, along with the ability to see with our third eye or our inner visioning, aligned with our intuition, we are moving into that true center, into the true identity beyond the ego identity. So this expansion is taking us beyond what we've known, the self-identity. And what does that even mean? So We're moving from the small self-identity that we've crafted, that we have created as the human version of us that holds the keys to our programming, it holds the keys to our trauma, it holds the keys to our conditioning and the agreements that we've made in order to feel safe and be included here on earth. So the self-identity is really a false identity. The way we've known ourselves through our identification as this body is all I am is limiting. And it's coded with the programming and conditioning that we attained, we grew up in, and that the imprints that we were given by the people and places around us, by the experiences around us, to craft a rule book of how to navigate being here on earth. And we forget that we are source consciousness. And this is the expansion and awakening that we're in, and what's being offered to us by the beautiful Galactic Center and the beings of light who love us unconditionally, is this beautiful transformation into an expansion beyond the known self. So the self as creator, the superconscious self, has no programming. It has no conditioning. It is known as source consciousness, as the divinity of all that is. So divine mind is another way that I like to reference the superconscious self. Divine will. The divinity that I am has a will of its own. The ego that I am, the identification of the person that I am, has a will of its own. These two wills can clash because the identity, the will of the personal wants to stay safe. It wants to know that it succeeds before it takes action. It wants to feel included. It wants to be valued. And all of these things are beautiful. And when we move beyond the small self-identity and into the superconscious identity or the divine identity, we know that we already are included. We already are valued. We already are worthy. So those two aspects of self are really being worked with right now in very potent and powerful ways. So this expansion that we're in and these energies that are available to us through this portal of alignment with the Galactic Center, it lasts for quite a while. And so this portal opens on the 12th. We can already feel the energies of it. We can already feel the expansion. And it lasts until the 21st, until the equinox. And so that's the juiciest, most alive and active and vital part of this portal for us to be able to work with our inner visioning and to imagine new realities, because our vision, what we focus on, we create. So as we're going beyond the known, this can create anxiety for the human identity. It can create fear for the human identity. And the reason for this anxiety and fear for the small self is that our small self, our human ego identity, only has the information to navigate life through from the known history in this lifetime. The ego identity only has access to the information, experiences, knowledge from the known history of this lifetime. So from the time you were born until this moment, your ego identity uses that information to guide you through. And if we are aligned with and focusing on the ego identity as our navigating system, then we're very limited, aren't we? The ego does not want to invite in change or expansion because it doesn't know what that will create. And so we are programmed with an illusory fear that comes in and stops us from beginning, from creating new things, from taking that next step, from expanding beyond what the potentials that you believe are available to you in this lifetime. From everything from your finances to your relationships to your vocation to the ways you create in the world to your collaborations. If we're focused in and paying attention to and believe that we are only the ego identity, then we are very limited in what we can create and expand into and what our lives can become and how we can contribute to the expansion of consciousness and move into a new reality where we are no longer creating from the old paradigms of lack, limitation, and suffering. So when we give ourselves permission to focus on our superconscious identity, our true identity that is based in gratitude, that is based in love, that is based in more, that is based in creativity and will to expand beyond the known bounds of what has already been created, where we become divine channels of wisdom, of creativity, of intelligence, of life, expanding into more love. Then we are able to access the portals of this beautiful galactic center, the void of all possibility, and create in new ways to give ourselves permission to have more of everything that we desire to experience. So aligning our vision to our superconscious self is very simply giving yourself permission to believe that you are more than the mirror shows you in reflection at face value. That your true desires, your divine desires, your eros, that is the signature of who you be as a fractal of God's source, as a fractal of the goddess, of the fractal of creation potentials. When we align to the knowing that that is who we truly are, we begin to dissolve the identity of the ego being in the driver's seat of our life and creating from the limited perceptions of the known history in this lifetime. When we step into the superconscious self, we step into knowing that there are potentials and possibilities that we can't even conceive of. And if we say yes to life, if we say yes to compassion, if we say yes to joy, if we say yes to love, then we are aligning with our true identity as source consciousness. And so this is the potential and the practice that I want to invite you into. And one of the ways that I know to do this is to listen to the music of the spheres, the sounds of the cosmos, and to identify self, our own frequency, our true frequency of the signature that we are as part of a fractal of God consciousness. And so very simply, how do we do that? How do we hear our own frequency? So I want to invite you into this practice that is very simple, and it requires that we relax. It requires that we relax our bodies. It requires that we relax our mind. And it requires that we use the prana, the life force energy, the consciousness of all that is, to help our bodies relax. And we can simply do that by saying to ourselves, in this moment, it is safe to relax. It is safe to melt. It is safe to simply be. There is nothing that I need to do, nowhere that I need to go, nothing that I need to figure out, and there's nothing that I need to fix about myself or the world. So taking that in and allowing the breath, your breath, to begin to melt and relax all of the places in your body where there's holding, where there's tension, where there's tightness. And to continue to inform your beautiful mind, it is safe for me to relax in this moment. And as you do, as your body begins to relax, you begin to open up your energetic field to receive more information. And I want to invite you to begin to listen to the sounds around you. And it may even help to close your eyes, to turn off the visual stimuli that comes in your eyes, and turn on your ability to see, to hear, to feel, and to know in the invisible world, in the world of cause, the bandwidths of frequency that contain the sounds, the music of the spheres of which you are a part. To begin to listen to the sounds around you, and then to begin to bring your awareness, your focus inside of you. Listening to the sounds inside of you. As you hear the sounds inside, begin to dissolve the borders of your physical body, reminding your mind it is safe to go beyond the physical boundaries of my body, to listen for my own frequency, for my note in the cosmic symphony of life. And hearing your own frequency, your own note. This is the voice of your superconscious self. Moving beyond the boundaries of your known reality and dissolving into becoming a part of the totality of the symphony of life. And choosing to align with knowing yourself as your true identity, as your superconscious self, beyond your small self identity as the human being that you are. And giving yourself permission to require more. Using your inner vision to see the path of more, the timeline of more, beyond the bounds of the third dimension, beyond the bounds of the fourth dimension, and expanding out into the fifth dimensional frequency bandwidths of the new paradigm, of new realities, where gratitude, joy, love, and compassion are your navigating system. And turn on your inner visioning and give yourself permission to receive a vision of a life beyond what is known for you, of a world that is beyond what is known for you. This is you aligning to new possibilities and going beyond the illusory fear that would tell you this is not safe. Beyond the illusion of limited possibilities. Beyond the playbook, the rule book that you created from the old small self-identity. And so this is tapping into the energy of expansion and focusing there. Bringing your attention there. So, as we do this, I want you to notice that any anxiety or fear dissolved into that beautiful void. It dissolved into this portal into the Galactic Center. Because nothing beyond gratitude, compassion, love, and happiness can exist in this space. No illusion can exist when you align with your true identity. Thank you for joining me and participating in this beautiful practice of locating ourselves in the music of the spheres, locating our true identity as this beautiful note that we are, and dissolving the illusions of the past, dissolving the illusions of the last 4,000 years of contraction, of illusory fear, of victim-aggressor paradigms, of lack and limitation, of suppression, and expanding beyond that, because it is those of us who are choosing this way of being that are becoming the frequency that others can resonate and entrain to in order to wake up and move along the lines, the timelines of their own expansion into their true identity. So we become the way showers. So if you are here listening to this, you are a way shower. You are contributing to the new earth being created in our reality, where there are no wars, where there are no genocides, where there are no complications from poverty consciousness on our world, where there is the knowing that there is true abundance for all, and there is an egalitarian system in place, that all life matters and that everything is distributed equally, where there is no suffering due to sequestering resources, to fighting for resources, to creating invisible boundaries and fences. So thank you for joining me in this expansion, and know that you matter. What you focus on matters beyond measure. Your love matters. Your contribution matters. And the more that you focus on shifting your attention from your small identity, from your ego identity, into your super conscious knowing, the more powerful you become as a beacon for others. So thank you for joining me for this week's Frequency Intel. I know that it has been a hell of a challenging year for everyone on the planet. Know that you are loved beyond measure, and I hope that you will leave a comment, that you will like, heart, share this information with your beloveds, with your family, with your friends, to help expand the reach of this material being available to all human beings. That is my deepest desire. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you on next week's Frequency Intel and contributing to the consciousness of humanity, to the awakening of humanity. Thank you for contributing your frequency to this intel. I am so grateful and just so in love with this way of connecting and communicating together. So, blessings. I look forward to seeing you next week. Let me know if this resonated with you by leaving a comment. It really supports me and helps me continue to know what to offer and what is alive for you and how this material lands for you. What do you know? So please contribute. Your comments are so welcome. Thank you.